Hey guys, so if you saw my last video, you know I had relatively high hopes for this game beyond Sandbox. Although I gave criticism, I do see a real potential in it, and it looks like it has potential, and I think it still does. But after what I've seen from the community behind it, I am not sure that potential is ever going to get the chance to actually mean anything. This isn't about gameplay anymore, or mechanics, etc. This is about the server that is tied to the game. A Discord server called Beyond Sandbox, fitting the game, of course. And I'm saying this now because after what happened in there, staying quiet would just make me as complicit as the people letting it slide. So the server is just a straight-up breeding ground for hateful people. That is not an exaggeration. Racism, homophobia, hate speech, even people openly defending Hitler. And not in some ironic edgelord meme way, I mean actual defense of fascism sitting in chat untouched. And the worst part, the moderators see it and either ignore it or join in. I called it out today, calmly, respectfully, and the response I got was pretty much pure hostility. No actual conversation, no accountability, just passive-aggressive replies, straight-up insults, and I eventually got blocked by the people in charge. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I am not. You can see the conversation I had here, and I'll read it right out loud. So I had said in this server, so I was actually about to go show some screenshots of the general chat that I had had a conversation in, but they actually wiped it. They wiped the entire messages. If I have a screenshot from when I was in the conversation in general, here is that right now. If I don't, you won't see anything on screen. So I had DM'd Crowbar, and he said, "What?" I said, "Oops, hold on, I had sent the wrong image files." And then we can see one guy saying here, "I called someone a racist, homophobe, transphobe, etc." And he said, "Add terrorist," implying that he is a terrorist. And then the other one says, "Hot take, Hitler is overhated. He did like 3 good things." Yeah, a steaming hot take. Someone said, "In my opinion, I don't think if someone DMs you rape threats, it's bad, because like he's not actually doing it to you." And I said, "Do you defend this?" And then he said, "I wasn't there for any of those, and people are allowed to form their own opinions on Hitler. I don't get what you're trying to prove or do right now, though. Elvin saying add terrorist obviously means he knows Hitler's a bad person, and Case has been timed out multiple times for saying stuff like that." And just to clear it up, Oscar was not referring to Hitler when he said add terrorist. He was referring to himself. And I said, you don't allow hate speech, but you allow people to defend segregation and racism? How does that look on y'all? And then he said, "Go to bed, Lesser Mage. It's a Discord server, and you're whining and crying over something that happened a couple weeks ago. I genuinely don't care that you're upset about it." And I said, "This happened 3 days ago." He said, "If mods see stuff happen or it's reported in a ticket, we will do something about it. But what you're doing right now feels like you're just whining and throwing a fit. Keep in mind, I just called this guy out." I straight out said, because he had said something in general chat along the lines of, "Oh, we don't allow hate speech," and I said, "Oh, but you allow segregation and racism and stuff," and he's like, and then he got into this whole argument. I said, and then he said, "I was just talking in general, and you felt the need to bring all this up when none of it affects you." And I said, "Homie, you're letting people be openly racist. Explain how that looks for Beyond Sandbox. I'm not trying to attack you for it. I'm telling you it looks bad." And then he said, "Nah, I'm alright. Have a good night, though," and he blocked me. Pretty immature, if you ask me. I've got nothing to gain by making this up. This kind of community does not just happen. It takes neglect, it takes people in power deciding that hate is easier to ignore than confront, and when a game is still in development, when it's trying to build a name for or a future, that community is everything. It is the foundation, and the foundation is cracked. If you're gonna attach a game to a server like this, especially one gaining popularity, you're also attaching it to every slur, every hateful message, every time someone got mocked for just wanting a safe space to talk about a game they liked, and etc. And it makes everything else feel completely fake. What is the point of good design, cool mechanics, creative ideas if the people around it are pushing others out just for being who they are? What is the point of community features if the actual community is built to keep people out? Or let bad people stay in? I know some people are going to brush this off, say it is not that deep. or it's just a Discord server, but that is where it starts. That's where first impressions are made. And if your first impression is a wave of slurs and Hitler praise, you're not going to stick around for the actual game. I wouldn't blame anyone for walking away from the whole thing. And I know people are going to whine and tell me to go die in a ditch as they did with the last video, but at least listen to what I'm saying. And for the mods, if you're watching this, you need to get your shit together. Pretending it's not happening or hiding behind the block button is not moderation, it's cowardice. If you can't handle cleaning up your own community, step down and let someone who gives a shit take over. Because right now, you're not moderating anything, you're just enabling it. This is fixable, it really is, but not if everyone stays quiet about it. Not if the only people speaking up are the ones being told to shut up. I also wanted to point out, my black friend had joined the server a while ago and said the N-word, and the moderator told him he's getting banned immediately, no warnings, and he apologized immediately, said he wouldn't do it again, and then the moderator banned him completely. So it's kind of ironic that they don't allow black people saying the N-word, but they do allow Hitler praise, which is a bit crazy. I made the first video because I saw something worth talking about, and I'm making this one because I am not going to pretend that it is still worth talking about if the people around it are making it toxic by design. Do better, or stop pretending this game deserves a community at all.